Well, old and crackadated, if it can, it will. Probably already has. But I did a little video of taking down that 8-man tent. But I forgot to check the camera. It cut itself off when I had the tent packed up. And I was going to show that it didn't fit the bag. But anyway, I got it down to where it was folded, and I had to let it dry for a long time. So by the time I finished folding it, I've done lost the light. But don't expect to get that tent back in the bag. You'll get the tent itself, but you will not get the rain fly in there and get it zipped up. They should have made that bag 2 inches longer and 2 inches wider. Then it would hold it. Because when you put up a tent and it gets rained on, sun shines on it, rains on it again, it swells up. The fabric swells. And you're not going to push it back down to where it was when it was pressed and brand new and sewed together and packed up. But anyway, it's a pretty lengthy video, and I wish I'd put that end part on it. But I was so tired by the time I got through wrestling that tent into the bag, which was impossible. But anyway, I did the best I could with it. And as usual, I turned my back to the camera quite a bit, but I had to set the camera up and just walk around the tent pulling stakes loose and taking the fly off of it. It at least shows how it tears down. And the thing had been up for a total of 5 months at least. So it held up well. A lot of storms, heavy rains, not a drop of water ever got in the tent, even the door flap where I let the dogs go in and out. No rain ever got in there. I'd go check it on rainy days, look through the window there at the door, no water anywhere, and then when it stopped raining, I'd go out there and inspect it all the way around. Never a leak in it. It's a mighty good tent. Well, take a look at me tearing it down. Okay, just need to do a little sound test on the microphone, make sure they're working. I've shot so much video and then turned out silent. Okay, time to take the tent down. It's been up now for a couple of months and needs to come down. And this time I did a sound test before I film so I don't end up with dead air. It's been holding up good. I'm sure the UV rays though have got it probably in pretty bad shape. I wish they would make tents out of Dacron. The old Dacron that they used to make sailboat sails out of was less stretchy than nylon. It wasn't cheap, but it was mighty good quality stuff. And if they would go back to making tent material out of Dacron, I don't even know if there's a manufacturer that makes Dacron anymore, but it's like rayon. If they'd make rayon again, but the rayon factory closed. That was during all that environmental crap when they were trying to close plants all over the country, which they did. I can remember how this hooks up. It wasn't too bad. And I'm not going to follow myself around I kicked that steak that's been out there for so long. I'll find it with a lawnmower for sure. But they quit making so many good fabrics that were good tent fabrics, and with all the tents that are being sold now, why don't somebody investigate that with the wherewithal to do something about it? I'm in no position for that. I'm too old and too much water has flowed under my bridge and some of it over my bridge. So, whew, spiders galore. Already trying to nest for the winter. Yeah. We got about the rod in it. And as usual, pull it out the wrong end where I've got all the joints made on everything. But this tie thing in the middle, I tell you, this thing has been totally leak-proof through all these storms and stuff. And even with this door flap unzipped for the puppies, and they've used it for a permanent camp out. Yeah, I guess I'll use the table over here and put my stuff on. Ugh. I've enjoyed it though. I've spent a lot of time out here. Puppies have enjoyed it too. They have used it for their little camping tent. I look out the window early in the morning and see Ruff and Ridge come out of the tent. They've got their little bed in there, and they've had a ball with it. I'm probably going to have to stretch this out on the ground to find all the corners to it. Well, this seems to be in fairly good shape. I should have done a UV treatment on it. That silicone spray protects against UV rays pretty good. It's made that gazebo tent hold up pretty well, and it's been up for a year, which I'd say the way it's held up has been fairly good. If it hadn't been for the ice storm with the hundreds of pounds of ice falling through the top, it would have survived pretty good. Then that takes care of that. Now I can pack up stuff on the inside. I may just put the camera over there so you can look inside. Okay, I'm hoping that's going to show up. If it don't, just use your imagination to figure out what's going on. I've got puppy tracks on everything. I mean, that right there where they've been rubbing around on, I'm gonna have to wash that off. A little easier to take apart than it was when it was new. It's slipping the ends off pretty good. I tell you, I love that little low cot, and sure do the puppies. They love crawling around on that, and that's where they've been quite a bit of the time. And this thing was a whole lot easier to operate after I actually paid attention to what was going on. I sure have loved this little cot. Oh man, the spider's gonna be all in this thing. They're not harmful spiders, they're pretty much humans' friends. But this place is full of them. I should have sprayed for bugs. But I knew I had to get out here and take this thing down before the dew fell on it. Don't even remember how this packs up. And my sleeping bags are going to need washing. I think there was another bag that this went in before it went in. I can't trust my memory anymore. I've heard that I'm getting old. Yeah, there you go. I knew there was another bag that something went in to keep it from getting messed up. Well, that's my tent bag. I don't want to do that. I need that for my tent poles. if memory serves me correctly, it don't serve me at all. So I'll have to remember that. I love this little cot. I could have put up my bigger cot. That would have probably worked better. Yes, buddy. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this up. I thought this had elastic bands attached to it, but I don't know. Oh, it had a bag for it to go in. I'm bad about turning my back to the camera so y'all can watch my better side. One thing, these problems with my hands, the muscles not working like they ought to. That's a little better. Probably been better if I'd turned the bag wrong side out and then fold it back over it. That's the way I used to bag things. I don't know where I could even do that now. Because that requires being able to grip something. And my grip has been mighty bad. Now if I'm gripping something that I can squeeze tight, it works okay, but something that takes a light grip, I can't hold on to it without squeezing it and crushing it. I need to get a clock that I can put here that it'd be better if that thing was just a little wider where you could put a sleeping bag side by side. My other bag's over there in that chair that them puppies kept dragging it outside trying to make a mess with it. See if I can get it rolled up. And this thing never was any good from day one because the zipper was installed backward. Instead of zipping up, it zipped down in the wrong direction. It was installed backward. And there's what the puppies did. They drug it outside and dragged it around and ripped it open. But when I put this sleeping bag up, I have to zip it all the way to the other end. Now it should be zipping it up, but it's unzipping it. So it was installed backward. The first time I've ever seen that was something like a sleeping bag. And of course the ends are messed up on it from having to do that, and there it just ran out of the zipper, so I guess it just won't be zipped up. Yeah, and they tore a hole in the middle of it. Looks like I'm gonna have to put my sewing machines to work this winter. Struggle, struggle. Oh yeah, they chewed my strap in two. So that's about as tight as it's going to get. It's not holding it tight enough to shove in the bag. So I just have to keep crushing it down. And what I'm getting ready for is a hot tent to go up. I've got I think three or four yurt type tents, hot tents. I've got canvas and I've got the composite fabrics that are fire resistant, and then I've got those that are not fire resistant. So maybe I need a fire alarm when I set up those hot tents. But it's going to be a nice winter because I'll be able to set up a tent just about every week different, or at least one a month there where I can my drawstring has gone out of this where they got hold of it while we were camping and pulled it out. And I sure missed Betsy Bug and Rowdy. They were more calm when Betsy Bug was around, and they acted decent, but as soon as she was gone, they started acting like a bunch of wild dogs. she had a calming influence on him because she was a pretty calm puppy. Well, that's about as good as I'm gonna do. Dirty feet. Boy, I love my puppies. Hope they love me as much as I love them. They seem to. If you've never had a dog, I'd say get one. But I'd suggest getting a good dog, ain't that right, Ridge? Get a good dog to start with. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get the broom and sweep this out after I get these pads out of here. Well, I'll turn the camera off and finish my cleanup in here. You get the gist of it, and then I'll bring you back when it's time to take it down. And it really surprises me when I come around here and find the camera still running. Thought I'd bring you back for a little bit of the sweep up. I use a broom with a broken off handle. It works out pretty well for most of my cleanup. Let's see if yeah, it's still working. Oh, dogs, dogs, dogs. I have to sweep my floor in the house about 3 times a day when I let them in. It's like the Peanuts character pig pen. Because they get down there in that dirt, get in the pond, then they get in the dirt again and get a good coat of dirt. When that dries, when they come in the house and that dries off, you can see the dust falling off of them. Well, I won't show you the sweeping out the door, but well, I've got all the windows and door flaps zipped up. Because if you don't zip these windows up, you get a tear in these screens when you pack them up. So, time to start swatting spiders off. There'll be a few left in there. You can't get them all without spraying bug spray. Hey, sweetie pie. Little Ridge is being my work buddy these days, and rough. But them puppies, I'm telling you what, they are rambunctious. There was somebody that on one of the camping channels that I frequent that was talking about so hard to put up a tent. Of course, a lot of people have disabilities that cause them quite a problem with putting up a tent, so I suggested that Nightcat pop-up tent, which when I had that thing set up, all those heavy rainstorms, I didn't get a drop of water in there except where I left the door flap undone. I probably have to stop the camera a couple of times to make sure I don't run past that 10-minute point that I don't understand why they have to have that. Is it such a sorry piece of equipment that you have to stop it from making film to cool off? Crazy. Of course, even with my disabilities that I've got, of course I've got half my right thigh missing, so it's always led to an uneven walk, which has caused me to have back problems. It's like walking with a leg just 2 or 3 inches shorter on one side and no Achilles tendon reflex, so I would wear out my left shoe completely through the sole and still have full sole on the right shoe because it don't push off unless I concentrate on it and make it push. That's one of the reasons my back went so bad I couldn't do much for quite a while. I'm gonna pack up probably a couple of dozen spiders. They just keep running back up on here, even though I shake them off. And I love these little pins they've got. The ring with the pin, that's the best attachment system for these telescoping poles. Because once you put them in there, they more or less stay. Oh, come on now. The worst part about these poles is the fact they get caught up hard to get them out. You'd think, well, if I go in the other direction, they'll come out just fine, but it don't matter. They're bipolar. The poles are bipolar. They come apart in both directions. It's easier to put this thing up than it is to take it down. There it comes. Whew. Well, I dread when I've got to replace the elastic in these things. I know that's going to be a trip. I hope I'm in the camera. I'm really bad about getting out of frame, but My brain stays out of frame most time anyway, so it's a picture of my brain scan. Wonder what the grass is going to look like underneath. Oh. Oh, after I put this up and take it down a few times, it'd probably work a lot better. But I don't think the fabric is going to be in all that good a shape because it's been up so long. The UV really works on it. I noticed the rain fly on it ripped real easy when the dogs came running by. And of course, one thing I've learned for the rain fly, set the pegs in pretty close to the tent because all they need to do is pull straight down. Your base stakes for the floor hold the tent to keep it from blowing away more than the rain fly. So I moved the rain fly stakes in, and that stopped the puppies from knocking it down. Get off there, Spider. Y'all go find some other place to hide for the winter. I got enough problems without feeding spiders for the winter. And let's see if I can get the corner stakes up. Yeah. Ground is nice and loose. And what I did, I don't like to use the little standard pins that come with the tent. I like to get those big heavy stakes you can buy at Walmart. A lot less trouble. I guess what I'm going to have to do is mow this grass with my trimmer mower so I don't sling any stakes I've left in the ground and kill me or one of my dogs or nail a passing car. Looks pretty good underneath. I think I pulled all those up already. Yeah, because the four corners is what holds it. Yeah, I gotta let it dry on the upper side. I got started about an hour later than I really wanted to get this done. Because around the edges it's going to be damp. I thought for a minute there I'd left my broom in the tent. I'll tell you, this is well worth the $100. Actually, this is probably as good as some of those $300 and $400 tents as far as a summertime tent. Of course, I would camp it in the wintertime. just to have protection from the rain. It's pretty dry on this end, and the sun was over here. Well, I think it's like $106 or something for the thing. Tax and all. And of course, we here in the county, I've got 8.5 cent sales tax. Straighten the camera up. But the sales tax 8.5% in the county. I'm lucky I don't have to pay city sales tax. Hadn't in many, many years. Because I've lived in the county for, I don't know, 45 years or so. I've lived in some mighty good places. Lived in an abandoned junkyard. They had had brought in a crusher and crushed all the cars and hauled away most everything, and then scattered odds and ends. They took a bulldozer and ran over the top of the church and put all that stuff down in a gully and covered it over with dirt. And it was a great place to live. Didn't have to mow grass. Well, I had a few little spots out behind the trailer, and it was probably 50 by 100 or something like that, maybe 75 by 100. It didn't take no time to mow it with a push mower. But the rest of it was church. I tried to buy the place. I offered the family a price for the 5 acres there. I really wanted to live there. Even though that was copperhead country, I had a cat get bitten by a copperhead there. But that was an ideal place to live. It had a deep well there. What I would have done if I'd bought the place is had a deep well drilled and hoped to find water before it got to 100 feet. The well there had about 2 feet of water in the bottom of it, and it was almost 100 feet deep. I think it's 90 feet down to the water. And I went down a rope and dug that thing out till I got the water about waist deep. But then, since I couldn't buy the property, I didn't work anymore on the well. But it had a nice brick housing over the top of it with a secure lid, and I could have just dropped a submersible pump in it. Would have worked just fine. But they used a bucket on it for years and years, the old home place that was there, which had been torn down, and then the junkyard took it over. But I enjoyed living at that place. It's about 12 miles out of town, which seems to be where I always end up, about 12 miles out of town. Yes, my Ridge, you sweet baby, you. She's become a pretty good dog. She likes to lay at the back door, so when I come out, she's right there for me. Yeah, ain't that right, baby? You were the hardest one to get to come up for me to pet you, but then after I started petting you, you became my darling. Oh, well, I think I'll turn the camera off and give it a little more time to dry, and I see the camera sitting crooked. Yeah, it folded up pretty good. I've got a little moisture right here I'm letting dry while the sun's still out. Just wish I'd have gotten to it an hour earlier. And it's looking pretty good. I'm thinking that, let me see if I have to fold it another time, or whether it's just that fold the ends in like I did, and then yeah, I'll have to fold it another time to get it in the bag. But that thing has been through storms, rain, heat. I'm gonna buy another one, and I think I might buy two. I'll buy the 8-person and the 4-person. The 4-person, it'd be better if it had less window screen in it, but the window screen is low enough. I don't know whether I'd trust camping with the puppies or not. Why don't I get my chair and sit down out here? Oh, like the ability to be able to walk away and talk on camera at the same time. I know it uses up a lot of dead space on the video, but hey, you can't have everything. Maybe sometimes you can only have half of what you need. Oh boy, is that gonna be wet on the bottom side. I was trying to find a spot where I wouldn't shade the, ho, ho, ho. I'm thinking maybe get some of the bamboo from around back. I tell you, I've had a tough time clearing that bamboo out there. It was spreading 40, 50 feet away from the little stand of bamboo. The roots run underground, and where they pop up to the surface, up comes another bamboo stalk. But I think I've got enough around there to build a curtain wall to go around at least 2 or 3 sides of the shed. I'd like to be able to block a lot of the blowing rain out, and then I can use my tarps on the inside away from the solar radiation that always eats them up. That camouflage tarp lasted a year. I put it up last September to block out the sun, and it's just now beginning to start coming apart. I wish I could even go fishing, but if I do, it'll have to be the pontoon boat, but my Durango won't even pull a boat right now. I bought a code reader yesterday because I didn't want to look for I've got a better code reader, but it's packed away I don't know where. Hadn't used it in several years, but I took the batteries out and packed it away. It's a pretty fancy one. But anyway, that catalytic converter getting cut off of the 2 vehicles ruined both of them. That Durango, you run about 12 to 14 miles, sometimes 20, and it'll cut off. And you just got to let it sit till it cools down. Open the hood and take paper towels and wet them and lay across the top of that engine computer. But I ran the codes on it, and it turns out it's the catalytic converter. The sensors, 2 sensors on the catalytic converter, and then another one that is combined with the catalytic converter to read the oxygen sensor. So it's all tied to the same circuit, and what's happened, without that being there, it's trying to read it, and it's overheating the circuit, and it just cuts off. There's a way you can have that removed from the code read, but I think I'm going to have another catalytic converter put on. You can get one for, I think, $179 from the auto parts places, but I don't know if it's got the fitting for the sensors. And then, of course, the sensors cost something like $60 a piece. I don't have to have California compliant because I'll never be in California for any reason. I've been there enough that I don't want to go back. Well, when this dries, I'll finish folding it and turn the camera back on for the stuffing it in the bag, maybe.